Aloysius says here, while I'm still constantly thinking and craving for the sword, I miss hearing from Eden. I hope and pray that she wasn't an illusion. After what we have learned so far from his legacy, so far I doubt it would be a warm welcome, especially if she returned now.
I suddenly heard Eden shout my name in anger. I became completely frozen. Only this time, all my bones were aching from the inside. They became tighter and tighter. It was incredibly difficult for me to breathe. Eden, is that you? Where?
Silence! How could you do that, Aloysius? That village was nothing but kind and generous to you. What you have done is unforgivable.
I am deeply sorry, Eden. I tried to stop, but I had no control. The sort of...
I don't have time for your petty excuses, Aloysius. As from here, I will mark you with an exile on your upper body. No village will welcome you, or even greet you. You're an outcast to the world that you know.
The mark of exile burned my flesh and transformed into a blur-like tattoo. It went from my lower back to my shoulder blades and then stopped at the front of my chest. Even though I couldn't explain that it was the sword and not me, it felt like I deserved every bit of pain at this moment.
You have truly disappointed me, outsider. I can never forgive you for what you have done. But however, follow the path with the greenstone and come to me. I will talk to you more then.
Eden, please. I know I deserve this mark, but the rage and the evil things I did was not all my doing.
It still doesn't change how I feel, outsider. But fine, explain yourself.
I had no idea where the rage came from. After the village hall burned, the sword of vengeance slipped out of my hand. I suddenly felt like myself again, and realized what I had done. The guilt grew in me so deeply that I threw the sword into a field. It came to a complete stop in midair, and drove itself into the ground. I heard voices in my head coming from the sword. They became clearer as I got closer.
This makes no sense. This is indeed odd. I will collect the sword and find out what possesses it. I will let you know as soon as I find something. But until then, Aloysius, continue on your quest. But hear my warning. Keep away from the villages.
Well, I didn't quite expect her to be that raged about it. The Mark of Exile has a cool ring to it. I quite like the sound of it, even though it's a bad mark. What will Eden uncover from the sword? Will she forgive the outsider? I'm kind of curious on why the outsider hasn't come into contact with Julius. I mean, by the sounds of things, they weren't far from each other. Are you enjoying his legacy so far? Good. Me too. I like looking forward to finding out more with you.